The Batman is the latest take on one of the most recognizable superheroes of all time. Even the most offhand line in the film reveals more about the character than you might think. Want to know more? Keep watching.
I'm vengeance.
Those two words, spotlighted in the trailer, had already become something of a viral sensation on social media before the film was released, similar to a familiar line from Tim Burton's take on the Caped Crusader.
Lights out! Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
But what's interesting is that if you search #I'mVengeance on Twitter, many people have embraced it in a way that pokes fun at Batman's constant brooding and self-seriousness, which largely mirrors what happens in the film. Although Batman doesn't say the line in the presence of any of the film's main characters, that doesn't stop Catwoman from teasing him about it. A few others do as well, treating his declaration like an embarrassing Rage Against the Machine lyric he once scribbled in their yearbook. Selina Kyle teases him at one point, saying,
"Come on, vengeance."
Obviously, certain elements are intrinsic in the Batman character. His parents were murdered, and he has since spent his days and nights training and planning to become the ultimate crime deterrent. A big part of his power is the fear he instills in Gotham's criminals, so if there's anyone who could credibly utter a line like "I'm vengeance" with complete sincerity, it would be the Batman. But at the same time, Pattinson's Batman is just beginning to come to grips with the cause and effect his presence has created in Gotham. The crime is relentless, the villains are increasingly more dynamic, and his nightly efforts don't seem to be making much of a dent. Overall, there's a sense of near mockery throughout the Batman, with characters like Riddler, Penguin, and Carmine Falcone treating their adversary's sincerity as if it's a shortcoming.
You got a lot of cats.
I have a thing about strays.
It's a line spoken coyly by Selina Kyle in response to Batman's less than genuine observation. It also sums up this take on the character. Nearly every action we see from this Catwoman is motivated by the welfare or memory of someone else. She's relentlessly compassionate toward the vulnerable, just as you'd take in a stray cat and give it the love it needs to grow. However, her biggest motivation is her mission to save her friend who has gone missing. But like Batman, she always has the memory of her murdered mother coloring her actions. Then, of course, there's Batman himself, another stray that Selina often pushes, cheers up, and looks after. Take a look at the scene where Selina agrees to wear special contact lenses that broadcast a video signal to work at the 44 Below Club, hidden within Penguin's Iceberg Lounge. Clearly, she hates being an informant for Batman, but she's willing to risk her life to help out the Bat and hopefully get some information on the missing girl's whereabouts. In some ways, this take on Catwoman might be the most purely good one fans have seen in a film. Sure, she technically retains the skills of a cat burglar, but she uses them to get back stolen passports rather than steal family jewels. Arguably, she's every bit the hero the Batman is, and unless you're willing to bring up Halle Berry's Catwoman, Zoe Kravitz's take on the character is the kindest Catwoman we've seen. The line is sure to get a giggle from viewers, and isn't that what the Riddler is all about?
It's too delicious! I even gave you a tip-off!
And keep in mind, moviegoers haven't seen a cinematic take on this character since Jim Carrey in 1995's Batman Forever. More than anyone else in Batman's rogues gallery, the man typically known as Edward Nygma seems made for these times. The modern world is filled with mind games, fake news, anonymous troublemakers, and other touchstones the Riddler once manipulated with a pen and piece of paper. This is the perfect opportunity to update the character into something more threatening and less cartoonish, and the Batman leans into that. "Say hello to my followers, we're live," he says at one point, kicking off a live stream with the intention of holding the district attorney accountable for his perceived shortcomings. They're here to watch our little trial. The Riddler's creepy new mask, off-kilter glasses, and affection for duct tape result in a threatening new look that no green leotard could approach. His grainy hostage videos and mocking riddles work perfectly alongside the user comments in the corners of the frame. Riddler uses the tools of social media to create a formidable army that mimics him in appearance and technique. While the Christopher Nolan movies and the Snyderverse both used modern tech to depict threats to Batman, neither of them thought to do so via the Riddler. Now the character has been reimagined as a jigsaw-like manipulator for the 21st century.
I want to play a game.
The potential for further development of this incarnation of Batman's foe and his followers seems rife with potential. This line comes at a key point in the film as Bruce Wayne continues to cling to any loose string he can find of his core principles. He struggles as Gotham remains a city under siege, and a rising pile of bodies around him serves as nagging indications he may be fighting a losing battle. Carmine Falcone, one of the most despicable puppeteers in Gotham, solicits the line when he approaches Wayne and tries to bond with him. "Your father saved my life," says the gangster. explaining that Thomas Wayne once tended to him. You think that doesn't mean something? Dismissing the moment as inconsequential, Bruce Wayne tells Falcone his father did it out of obligation, not friendship. That means he took the Hippocratic Oath, he says. What you're witnessing here is the final moments of Bruce Wayne's naive view of the way the world works. In almost every incarnation of Batman, Thomas and Martha Wayne are hugely powerful, hugely beloved characters senselessly gunned down. They are perfect martyrs for Batman to avenge, but not in the Batman. Instead, further revelations are to come about how Thomas and Martha rose to power, silenced their critics, and hid their secrets. In short, Thomas was far from a noble doctor who treated everyone equally. As the line becomes blurred between Carmine Falcone and Thomas Wayne, it eats away at the very foundation of the Batman mission. Could it be that Thomas Wayne wouldn't simply help someone out of professionalism and duty? Could it be that Falcone was a friend? For all his fancy talk and Machiavellian mind games, Falcone is just another homicidal thug. This becomes evident in the final scenes involving the character. When he is confronted by Selina, their struggle leads to him nearly strangling her. Both Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle have significant backstories involving dead parents and their involvement with the movie's lead gangster. Falcone, however, is a relatively recent creation in the Batman universe. He made his debut in a 1987 comic, and although his criminal activity has often been a driving force behind Gotham's sorry state, this is perhaps the most influential we've ever seen the character. In essence, without Falcone, there likely wouldn't be a Batman or a Catwoman. But during a far more primal moment, Falcone tells Catwoman, "You made me do this, just like your mother," as he tries to choke her to death. This confession that he did in fact kill Maria Kyle should bring closure for Selina on some level, though she's not able to appreciate it until Falcone is finally knocked off her and arrested. Where does Selina go from here? Like several of the other main characters in the Batman, she is essentially a grown orphan, grappling with demons and ghosts she cannot ignore. The last time we see Selina, her storyline is resolved. She has no one left to be with, and she's heading off on her motorcycle to start a new life. Now, it seems she's the stray. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about the Batman are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.